What is happening, guys? How many of you guys wanted to always pinstripe your car? Just do a little something like that to it, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Okay, I've already done this side of the vehicle. Alright, this vehicle did have a painted pinstripe on it from the factory. Or maybe not from the factory, but somebody had done it, okay? And over time, the painted stripes just tend to wear off, you know, if you buff the car, you wax the car, or whatever. Now, I just went down the side of this vehicle with the buffer, okay, and you can see that there's very little remnants of the old pinstriping. And if you guys ever want to remove this striping, say you buy a car and it's got this on it and it's a painted stripe, a lot of times you can wet sand and buff the stripe right off it, okay? There's a little piece there, okay? And then there was some back here, but I used the stripe as a breaking point for the paint that I put on this vehicle. So what we're going to do, this is just a, you know, pro stripe. They call it multi-stripes. Okay, you can buy it at Advanced Auto Parts. A lot of the parts stores, you can buy this stripe. Okay, is what it is it's a 5/16 stripe. Okay, they call this one Argent. All right, which is pretty much silver. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to lay this stripe down this vehicle. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it today. So give me a second, I'll set you up on a tripod and we'll get started on this thing. Alright, first thing you want to do is unpeel it. Okay, they actually use a piece of stripe or a little piece of glue and they glue the roll. So what you want to do is you kind of want to get all that crap off of there. Alright, now this stripe, it's got a paper backing to it and it's got a plastic clear film over the top of it. Okay? Now this particular vehicle, the way the stripe was, is the fatter stripe was on the bottom and the narrower one was on the top. So what I'm going to have to do is start at the front of the vehicle with this and work my way back. And what I'll do is I'll peel this, okay, because we're going to be out of camera's view for a couple seconds here. We're going to peel it like that, and you want to make sure that both pieces of stripe are stuck to the plastic film, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this to the very front of the fender, I'm going to walk it to the back of the truck, tear it the length I need, and then we'll get started. Because what I usually do, guys, is I usually just kind of let it roll out, go over the top of the mirror, because that keeps the stripe from going on the floor. Then we get back here, we come, okay, well, that's how much we need, just rip it. And then that's what I'll do, whoops, is I'll stick it back here to where we got to be, which is going to be directly over the top of where the old stripe was. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start walking this back, peeling as we go. And you want it straight, so you want to eyeball this. Okay, and this is a little bit more difficult because it's already had a stripe on it, so I have to make sure that I go over the top of the stripe that was already there. Okay, look down it, good and straight, press down. Then we'll start at the next panel. There's a little remnant of a stripe here, so this is going to be our guide point. Directly over the top of it, stretch it just a little bit, eyeball it, looks good, press down with one finger. Next panel. We're going to untape the front. You have to have a really good eye for this, guys. And just lightly rub over the top of it. Okay, now is where it gets a little bit tricky. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me just make sure. Try to stay out of your view here. Okay. Now we need to determine where the old stripe started. So what I'm going to do is I'm lightly going to peel this back. And it started right there. So I'm going to push it back. Because what we're going to do is take the razor blade. We're not going to cut the whole stripe. We're just going to cut the bottom stripe to start with. Very gently. You don't want to cut through the paint. Okay, now is what's going to happen is the smaller stripe is going to be stuck to the clear plastic. Okay, see where we're going here? And this had a real slight taper. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it back down and stick it down. Alright, I'm just following what they had on here, okay? We're going to press it down more firmly now. And it's always good to do this on a clean vehicle, not freshly waxed vehicle. This will not stick to a freshly waxed surface. A clean, warm vehicle. Now what I'm going to do is where the smaller stripe was, is I'm going to cut that stripe now. Push it down really good in that area. And then we're going to take and we're going to peel the backing away. And we're taking the stripe with us. Hang on. I just didn't cut it good enough. We're going to peel this clear backing away from it. Now you see how I'm peeling? I'm not peeling it out because it's going to pull the stripe away from the vehicle. Okay, you want to peel it back like this. And now we're to a seam in the panel. Let me see if you guys can see. Zoom a little bit for you. There we go. Okay. Now a lot of guys will wrap the stripe around. Okay, they'll just cut it. They'll wrap it around the inside of the panel. Okay, I don't do that. I usually leave about 1/8 of an inch between the panel opening. Okay. Just like that. Then we'll just take the razor blade and peel the excess away. Just like that. Okay? Again, press down. Now that there's no clear backing on it, you can really press hard, okay? Alright, we'll unzoom you here, or we'll just move you down a little ways. Okay. We're going to firmly press right into the next panel, about 1 inch or 2. Again, peel it like this. Don't peel out. And you want to be very careful to try not to cut into the paint of the vehicle. Because if you cut into the paint, is what's going to happen is it will eventually peel the paint there and it's going to rust. Okay? Alright, now let me finish this up and we'll turn you back on. Okay, now here's our almost finished product. Okay, now this is an extra step that I usually do. I have a little teeny bit of clear coat in this cap here. Now this is also to prevent problems in the future. Just take a little artist brush, okay, and just put a very, very thin, just a couple little drops of clear on the edge of the stripe. Just like that. Okay, now you want to make sure you use clear. Okay. Now here, obviously, you see where the factory, okay, is still remaining. We're not going to really worry about that, though. Again, it's a 10-year-old car. But every place I put a little cut, I'm putting a dab of clear. Okay? And this is going to do 2 things. It's going to prevent corrosion in the future, and it's also going to prevent the stripe from peeling up on the edges, starting with the edges. Okay? Getting in and out of the car, whatever, the first thing that's going to go is these edges. They'll start peeling, and once they start peeling, it's just a never-ending battle. Okay? So just a little bit of clear. Now I know this is, an extra step, but this is old school. This is how I was taught. Okay? And then we'll go ahead and do the other side because I did the other side yesterday. So we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of clear on all the spots over here. You don't want it too thick because it'll run down the panel and look like hell. And that's it. So there is the finished product. Obviously I just buffed this side of the vehicle so it's shinier. I still have to go over the hood and things like that. But it's just a cheap, simple way to set the look of your vehicle off. Okay? The pinstriping is under $10 in most cases. Okay? You can buy a wider stripe, multicolored, things like that. You're going to spend more money. You're going to spend $30, $40 a roll maybe if you go with the real wider, fancier stuff. Okay, this is generally what most people, dealerships, whoever, put on their vehicles. Okay? And it just sets it off. That little stripe just kind of gives it a little, you know, different look. That's all. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. Y'all have a goody-goody. Later.